everybody, it's Courtney from Your House Fitness, here to show you how to do a landmine row. Love me a landmine. If you don't have a landmine attachment, but you were fortunate enough to own a bar, you can just kind of make one. You can fold a yoga mat and shove it in the corner of a room that you have access to. Otherwise, these aren't terribly expensive, the actual platform itself. I would just recommend making sure that it's on a surface that it won't slide, okay? Sometimes you can get them attached to squat racks, but if this is all I have at home, I would just have this on like a non-slip surface, so yoga mats or type of insulated flooring that you can get, so that it doesn't move, okay? So priority number one, make sure that that's secure, then make sure that the bar is obviously inserted into the landmine attachment, okay? You'd laugh at how many times I've seen people and they forget that part. So we're gonna go over 3 really common rows here. So if you don't have any handles or any type of attachment, these are some options that you could do. So the most common one, or the most popular one, would be this one here, okay? So I'm basically gonna step on top or straddle the bar. I don't wanna be right over the end here, okay? I'm gonna be kind of like, I would say maybe like a good third of the way down here. Basically enough for this guy, this part of the barbell, to kind of be somewhere by my like neck, chest, face area, so up here. Down here might be a little bit hard, okay, especially if you start to put weight at the very end. So I like to keep myself pretty close to the end here. Again, kind of based on how tall you are. But this one here, again, if I don't have handles, I'm basically just gonna go left hand on top of right. Maybe I'll do 5 rolls, and then I'll switch my grip, okay? So that I'm kind of balancing myself out. So basically from here, make sure that you don't hurt your back when you go to grab this bar. If it's an issue for you, you can always prop this up on something, okay? Again, depends what your setup is at home. But basically, I'm gonna do something like this. So again, I'm gonna go a few inches down. I like to use sometimes this line here. Not every Olympic barbell that I've ever seen has this. It just depends, but this guy does. So here we are. So good reference point for grip. So I'm gonna put my bottom hand, my bottom index finger right here, and then my top hand goes right on top. So just for an example, I'm gonna go right hand on the bottom, left hand on the top. Number one thing you need to make sure is that your posture is good. So what you don't wanna be is like, frumpy, gonna try to roll like this. Hi, say goodbye to your vertebrae, okay? So stick that butt out, make sure that that back is nice and neutral. I didn't say straight, I said neutral, because a lot of people think sometimes that they have to be like, I don't know, in line with a broomstick of some kind, but no, just neutral, whatever neutral is for you, okay? Abs of steel, shoulders back, and then I'm basically just gonna row. Now, there's a lot of jokes around this one with some of the guys in this community, okay? You don't want to hit yourself in the crotch, okay? So be mindful of this, that you don't pull up too aggressively. I'm gonna pull up, I'm gonna hold for a second, and release, okay? So 1, and set. Now again, if you're worried about hitting yourself in the crotch, and again, to be serious here, just don't go so high. You might have to hold maybe here, okay? That's fine. And then maybe if you do about 5, switch your grip, line up the bottom hand here, okay, with that line, and same thing. Okay? Don't forget to switch the grip. If you're gonna do multiple sets though, I would say maybe do like 10 reps with the right hand on the top, then take a break and do another set where you do the left hand on the top, okay? So this one here, just a double-handed row, straddling it, and then pulling up to the chest, making sure that you don't hit yourself in the crotch, okay? All right, happens all the time. The other option here is to do single arm work. So great tool for stuff like this. The first one here, I'm gonna keep nice and tight to the bar, and I'm gonna go almost to the very end. You can even grab the end if you want, whatever you want. So if you put plates on here, you could grab the end down here. It just makes it a little bit easier. Again, some people like this grip right at the end, that's fine. All right, but first thing I'm gonna do is just neutral grip. So I'm gonna line myself up next to it, and I'm gonna bend over here, all right. So I'm gonna reach on down again, just make sure that that back isn't gonna hurt afterwards, so double check your form. I'm gonna grab right at the end here, okay? And I'm just gonna do a single arm row, okay? Nothing terribly exciting here, but I'm gonna keep that bar pretty close to me. So I'm almost skinning my leg on the way up. So this would be a recommendation for people that have shoulder injuries or shoulder issues, that this would be a fairly safe row if you're able to go heavy, let's just say that, versus if I showed you a wider row, okay? So if I come over to the end here, more like on the edge, and I wanna go wide, just depending if you have any rotator cuff issues, this might not be a great idea, but let's show it to you anyway. So if you're training for an aesthetics-based reasons, then it's always great to mix up the exercises, right? So you hit different muscles a little bit differently, right? Balance out your physique. Okay, so if I'm gonna do a wide row, I'm basically gonna put my hand right at the end, overhand grip here. I see a lot of people, they put their thumb here. It's not the end of the world, but let's get all the digits here, okay? And then I'm basically gonna go like this. Or sorry, wrap your thumb around. God, I get in bad habits here, okay? Okay, so basically something like that. Now just be very mindful if you're trying to do a shrug, okay, and that's what you want to be doing, great. If you're not trying to do a shrug, maybe keep those shoulders away from those ears, okay? So when you're rowing, you're not elevating the shoulder up to the ear, you're keeping it down, okay? Again, everything's about intent. So I always say that, I'm like, if you don't know what you're doing, you might end up doing shrugs instead, which is fine if you want the most glorious traps of all time and you want to look like you are a running linebacker, okay? But if you don't want traps that are that gigantic, maybe just start to focus on keeping the shoulders down and then rowing from there, okay? So I'm gonna go this way now. So if I do my left side here, same thing, this is a neutral grip row, okay? Keeping everything nice and close to my body, okay? And again, check, so I'll start standing straight up. I'm gonna bend over, okay? Nice neutral back, okay? Abs of steel, keeping everything tight, and then just pulling straight up, okay? So basically rowing. Now again, some people are shoulder taller, more flexible than other people, whatever it is. You can go kind of anywhere from like almost parallel to the ground. Some people are just really comfortable with that. And again, just depends. And then other people are gonna be more comfortable up here. And if you're trying to hit traps a little bit more, you're gonna wanna stand up a little bit straighter, okay? So there's always that option. That's a neutral grip row. And then again, if I swing this out and get on the other side, nobody's gonna see, but you can see what my other part of my body's doing here. Oh, sorry. Never mind. I was gonna try to show you the left arm, the wide grip, but then you're just gonna be looking at my butt the entire time, so. But just remember, this is our wide grip here, okay? Same idea, okay? Except my elbow's gonna flare outward, okay? So something like that. So let's just recap really quickly. This is a landmine attachment. This is a barbell in a landmine attachment. These are called landmine rows. So we've got our double arm, okay? So where I've got two hands pretty much one on top of the other, okay? I'm straddling the bar. I don't want to hit myself in the crotch, so I've got to be very mindful here. But I'm going to go maybe 5 rows with good form, with the left hand on the top, okay? And then I'm going to pause. I'm going to switch. Like I said, you could do entire sets with just the right hand on the top, and then do an entire set with just the left hand on the top. But make sure that you make a note of what version you're doing, okay? So that's our double arm row, landmine straddle there. Then we've got our neutral grip row, okay? So we've got this guy here, single arm, neutral grip row, landmine attachment, okay? And then we've got our wide grip, okay? So again, I just turn my hand from this way to this way so you can see my knuckles, all right? And then basically same exact position, but this time I bring the bar down and I bring it up with my elbow flared out a little bit wider, okay? So there's 3 different rows that you could do if you didn't have any handle attachments. If you ever want to buy handle attachments, this row here, you kind of loop something around and then you could roll like this. You could try a towel if you want, make your life a little bit harder with an overhand grip like this. But generally speaking, you don't need anything fancy. Also, using an Olympic barbell is really good grip training. So if you're trying to do some rows with this bar, you're gonna see that your forearm strength should get a little bit better, grip strength. I know some of the guys out there use fat grips, so you can also add a fat grip to that. I'm not a terribly large person, so this is pretty good for me, standard Olympic bar. And especially if you're gripping all the way down here, I mean, it's good. I can feel this in my forearm now, in my hand, but that's really good for you. So very good product, very good tool, landmine rows, landmine attachments. I'm clearly out of breath already, so the amount of rows that I did, my one arm is way bigger than the other right now, okay? But anyway, if you have any issues or questions, let us know. Otherwise, great tool. Everybody should be doing landmine rows. So please do try and let me know how it goes, okay? All right, take care. Boom.